Welcome back. Here we have a special unboxing and review. I will say special only because this is a watch that I had to send off for service. I was curious about the customer service from Christopher Ward. I really enjoyed the brand. So I, of course, did a little research. I had read some good things, some bad things. I was curious to try it for myself based on what I had read. I always like to evaluate fully what, there's all the links in there that I sent with the bracelet. This is the Christopher Ward C60 Trident GMT 300. And as you see, they didn't charge me a dime right there. Very, very nice. Now, it did take a little while. It was a bit of a wait. I had received this watch from another watch fan friend of mine in Dallas named Sean, and I got a great deal on it. It had an issue with the bracelet where it connected, it would come loose a little bit and it had a little bit of a jiggle. And if I can figure out how to plug in that video, I will do it here. If not, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. However, because of that, I figured let's test the warranty for Christopher Ward. It was only less than a year old. They have the 5-year, what do they call it, 60-month program. And this thing is very sticky. I can't get that open. What in the world is that? Well, there we go. Seems to be very tight tolerances on that box. So everything is here, all the warranty card in here, packaging material and everything. 5-year movement guarantee. I was curious if they were worth their mettle on that. Like I said, I had read varying reports. There you go. All the material came back, everything with it. Very well packaged, I will say. Customer service was very convenient via email, I will admit. And there it is. They responded to the email that I sent. I sent a image and I wound up sending a small video of what it was doing. And that issue is clearly fixed. It's nice and tight. This thing came back. I've already looked at it just to check it out before I put it on the video. But honestly, it came back appearing brand spanking new. It looks like, I can tell this is the original bracelet and it has very minor wear marks. However, they did say that the movement on these are the Sellita SW330-2. It's essentially kind of a mock-up of the ETA 2893 and it beats at 28,800 beats per minute. And I do believe it gives almost 60 hours of power reserve. It says here 56 hours of power reserve, which for a GMT is very good, especially at that price point. Now, I will say I've been very impressed with these watches. As far as the watch is concerned, you're talking 11.7 millimeters thick, light catcher case. It has a very nice curvature to the lugs. 20 millimeter lug width, very compatible to lots of bracelets and easy to swap because of the little tabs back here. Very easy to swap out these bracelets with a rubber strap, leather, or whatever. These look really good on leather. I love the blue aquatine on leather. It just looks so sharp. 47.5 lug to lug. And 40 millimeter diameter, kind of just a nice right in the middle, not too big, not too small watch, a little tiny bit of a raised edge there. Of course, the real sapphire crystal. You got the see-through case back where you can see that movement. If you are into that, it is kind of a cool touch. I'm not one to sit there and stare at the movement, but I do like to be able to see it on some of these. And I have been very impressed. I set this to Honolulu time. I've got family from Hawaii. I've always tracked that time zone. So there you go, and you can see got the difference in time right there. You can track. This is the, I guess it's the Office GMT, not the Traveler GMT. I have had both. I don't care, doesn't matter to me. Let's try that on. While we do that, we'll have a wrist check. This is my, what I call the Weekender. It's the Seiko Samurai with that orange dial. I love that thing. And I will tell you, I have gone through every strap I could find. I finally found what I would call the most comfortable replacement strap for Seiko watches, and it is right here. Whether it be OEM or original, this bad boy, it is the most comfortable I have found. Between leather, NATO, all of the above. Let's try this on. I really like the dimensions of the watch. I like the way it fits. The comfort, honestly, is beyond what you would even imagine. Very sharp looking, very sharp. I like that. Now, as far as the bracelet, the fit and finish, excellent, superb. The fit and finish of everything else, the dial, the indices, everything, excellent. Now, I have reviewed the Manta bracelet. It was beautiful, like butter. I will say, yes, you could feel a little bit of a difference. I have compared those with the Oyster bracelet on like the Submariner, which this is the Bader bracelet from Christopher Ward. This also comes on a Jubilee style bracelet, which some people seem to prefer. I really like this style. I like it just fine. And like I said, it's very easy to swap out that bracelet with whatever you like. And of course, you can see there are the screws right there to change the bracelet as far as remove links. It also has Christopher Ward's really cool on-the-fly adjustment. You push down that little tab underneath there with your thumbnail or whatever nail, and you get that much movement. I don't know how many millimeters that is, but I will say, I think on-the-fly adjustment on bracelets like this that are fold-over clasp, it is a game changer. That comes on the Submariner. Most of the Rolexes have that these days. Watches that don't have that, I think, are just falling behind. If your wrist swells or shrinks or whatever, you have that much room to adjust it, and I think that is amazing. Any watch that does not have that, essentially in my book these days, unless it is, of course, on a leather strap or another type of strap that is one that you can adjust on the fly regardless. Even San Martin watches have that adjustable item on their bracelets. So these days, I think that watchmakers, they need to step it up. I love the Longines, and they're beautiful watches, and they do have the little pinhole micro adjust, but these days, these higher end watches, I just think they all need to have that. That seems to be something that should be standard. Watchmakers, anyway. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed. I have been impressed with the customer service from Christopher Ward. It did take a little while, but they have sent back a beautiful product. It was seamless, didn't charge me a dime, nothing. They even sent me the label for me to ship it to them, and then they sent it back. They emailed me status updates every time. As a matter of fact, they said that the specs of the movement when they tested it did not meet their standards. I don't know what those standards are. I thought it was running great. It was just a few seconds off on the time grapher. However, they have such high standards, they went ahead and replaced the movement. Now, I will say, this whole thing looks pretty brand new, but I couldn't really tell any wear on the watch itself prior to even sending it off. However, I'm impressed. Good job, 5 stars in my book for Christopher Ward. I love the brand. I'm a big fan. Thanks for watching.